Hi, this is Rick Batista with School Street Social. I am here with Mike Manson of the Musical Arts Institute in Chicago. How you doing today, Mike?
All is well. How are you today, Rick?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Mhm.
You are the founder and executive director of the Musical Arts Institute, or MEI, as we'll probably say throughout the video to shorten up the time a little bit.
Mhm.
And at each School Street Social musical event, we raise money for a good cause or organization, and we just felt that MEI was a perfect fit for what we're trying to accomplish at our School Street Socials.
Well,
So I appreciate you joining me
yeah,
today.
I appreciate the effort. It's a wonderful organization. I'm really proud to be a recipient this year.
Thank you.
This is really cool.
I hope we can raise some good money for the organization because you're doing some great things
Oh, thank
from
you.
what I learn, and I definitely want to learn some more.
Sure.
So we'll start off easy with a 20-part question. How and when did you start with music? What was your musical journey as far as
Oh,
like schooling, career and life experience? I mean, you don't have to go through every detail, but just kind of give us some highlights.
sure.
What brought you to the Musical Arts Institute today?
So my passion started back when I was 10 years old, about 11 years old.
Okay.
Playing music first on piano and then transitioning to guitar and then to bass as well.
Okay.
And so that total transition happened by the time I was 11 and a half, almost 12. Played in school bands, learned how to read music. Um, from that, joined some garage bands, as it were. We were going to be the next Earth, Wind, and Fire Ohio
Okay.
player, that type of thing. And that's where the passion came. And then uh, went to the Navy. So I'm a Navy vet.
Okay.
Uh, Played in the Navy gospel choir and came back and
Nice.
started going to school and played with a number of different gospel groups at that time. But I studied orchestra and studied classical music. Didn't study jazz. Um, and so finished a bachelor's degree at Chicago State University and went on to acquire a master's degree in orchestra conducting at
Okay.
Northwestern.
Nice.
And that's where, well, I had known my wife for all those years since I
Hmm.
was a kid, but we really got close when we were both at Northwestern. And that's where a year after both of us received our master's degree, we got married. But around that time, I started to explore my own solo career as a jazz musician. And so around the year 2000, I recorded my own my first solo record.
Oh,
Uh, and I stopped teaching. I don't know if I mentioned, just after my master's degree program, both me and my wife taught in Evanston,
hmm.
Illinois. And we taught there. I taught there for 17 years. She taught for 13 years. And so I taught there, and then I taught orchestra in in the Northbrook school system as well. And but around the year 2000, I started to put together my own my solo career started, and I put my first record out. It did very well. I signed my first record deal, as it were, and it
Awesome.
did very, very well. So over, for a jazz record to sell over 85,000 copies at that time was really, really good.
Yeah, great accomplishment.
And had my first number one Billboard single on the smooth jazz, contemporary jazz charts called Outer Drive. And then things went on from there. I had stopped teaching by that time, and I was just touring, and I was um, uh, recording and for myself and other people. I was producing and started my own production company.
Mhm.
And then around 2008, I was actually between record deals, and I taught for Chicago, the Chicago public school system. And I taught there for a year, and I noticed something that was troubling for me, in that I saw all these kids who were uniquely talented
Mhm.
and just did not have the resources nor the motivation to excel at music. But I saw a spark in these kids' eyes at this small school on the south side of Chicago. And I was like, A, there was no equipment or tools for them to be successful with. B, there was no motivation for them to excel beyond the simple exposure of music,
Mhm.
because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And C, socially, it was not advantageous for them to be the quintessential music geek at in the CPS social environment.
Yeah.
So I was like, we have to do something about this. There's a lot of inequities. When I taught in Northbrook, um, every tool that I needed and the family cultures and the environment, just was conducive for success in music and in all the arts for that matter.
Yeah.
Uh, but in Chicago and specifically the South Side of Chicago, there was no place for that. So in 2010, both me and my wife sat down and it's like, okay, we're going to found this music school, and we're going to have a place where kids who are talented and just have no place or environment to express that talent with excellence. We're going to give them that, and we're going to give them all the resources and motivation to really excel in music. So we started out in 2010 with 35 students and 5 teachers.
Okay.
And now through our partnerships, we partner now with CPS schools to provide music where there is no music education. And we're also a partner with some other youth organizations, youth development organizations to provide music instruction for at-risk kids who, again, would never have any music education provided for them because of budget constraints or scheduling constraints or
Mhm.
whatever. So now we're up to 1,700 students and 12 partners, and our conservatory now has grown to over 105 conservatory members as well.
Wow.
So it's a blessing to be where we are. Uh, Typically in our area, there are not many arts programs. There are a couple, but there are not many. And we are just proud to be able to provide music education for the students in our communities. We service about 7 neighborhoods, um, and to provide excellence in music education for those kids is just a blessing for us.
Well, that is amazing because I certainly have done a little bit of homework, but you filled in
Mhm.
some of the gaps there, and
Sure.
that's just a beautiful accomplishment. And with the neighborhoods and communities that you service, are they primarily like on the because your location's on Lafayette, pretty far
Correct.
south, so it's like
Mhm.
southwest or just south?
No, south and southeast.
Okay.
We have a couple of partners that are southwest as well,
Okay.
in the southwest Inglewood,
Hmm.
that type of area. So,
Okay. Yeah, not to go off on any political rants here, but
mhm.
my I do real estate, and I just find it mind-boggling how just take Lakeshore, just like the old song Lakeshore Drive. You go from rags to riches, and it's
Mhm.
just amazing how you can have multi-million-dollar homes in one neighborhood and just go a few miles away, and there's poverty and blue tarps over roofs, and it's
Sure.
just unbelievable to see, and it's sad.
It is.
But something I realized probably within the last 10, 15 years or so, which I just never thought of. You always think about tax dollars going to the school system,
Mhm.
but it's not collectively going to the school system. It's the tax dollars from the neighborhood going to the school system within the
Absolutely.
neighborhood.
Yes.
And my family's Cuban American, and we came. I'm first generation Cuban American,
Mhm.
and we came in the '60s. My family came in the '60s and '70s, and certainly not promoting communism, but one thing that they focus on is education for everybody. And I
Mhm.
don't understand why in a capitalist society we can't focus on having quality education for everyone as well. I think that's something that everybody could benefit from because the communities benefit, the city benefits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone having these resources, and
Yeah.
it's just so frustrating and mind-boggling to me why this doesn't happen.
Yeah. It's amazing, we exist so that well, one of the reasons why we exist is that there is parity in resources.
Mm-hmm.
There just isn't right now,
Yeah,
regards to the arts, and we are certainly an advocate for that. Your zip code should not relegate you to the type of music education that you receive.
yeah,
Uh, Everybody should be able to get to receive the same quality and
absolutely.
resources for music.
And what, I mean, I'm sure anybody listening has probably heard or even, read some studies or something, but, what sort of, for those who want to follow science and studies,
Mhm.
how do you see from firsthand experience and from research when you were first starting MEI, how does music and children being exposed to the arts, how does that ultimately
Sure.
help community, not just families and households, but communities, neighborhoods, the city overall?
Well, certainly, community and community performances and exposition and presentations bring about community unity, a community pride. I see that in every performance that we do for the community. We
Mm-hmm.
have three performing ensembles that go out into the community to show the community exactly what excellence looks like.
Yeah.
Uh, in coming from the community, music groups that come from the community, and so again, community unity, community pride, and for individually for these kids, the spirit of excellence and the sense of accomplishment is a big deal. Being able to to goal set, to be able to practice repeatedly so that they accomplish a goal is a big deal. Collaboration is a big deal. Being able to collaborate with your peers so that you accomplish a goal, a musical presentation.
Yeah.
Also, problem solving. Most of our kids are really, really good at math
Yeah.
because in music, you have to sit with a problem and not only sit with it, but break it down, analyze it, work on it, work on it repeatedly so that it becomes part of your personality.
Mm-hmm.
So those are skills that are prevalent in math. So there's a number of, and there's other things, of course. I mean, we can get into the cognitive brain functions, and
Yeah.
really go deep with it. But I mean, from a superficial level, that is some of the things that we really treasure from the study of music.
And it reminds me of, I have three sons from my first marriage that I named the company after.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were in school and younger, they would always argue with me as like, why do I need this? I'm not going to use it later. It's like, well, number
Mm-hmm.
one, you don't live in the future. You don't know what you're going to use.
All right.
But, whether it's poetry, music lessons, even taking calculus,
Mm-hmm.
you may not become an engineer, but it's just these certain courses or certain subject matters that just tap into a different part of your brain that you didn't even know you had, and it's a
Right.
muscle that you're building,
Right.
and it helps you and enhances you to do other things in life.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, so specifically from our conservatory, those who have gone on to study rigorously in music, we have 99.5% of our graduates from our conservatory um, go on to get scholarships in music, whether they become musicians or not.
Mm-hmm.
They get scholarships. They go to college. They get accepted into college, and they don't have to study they don't have to study music, but they certainly can receive monies for their hard work.
That's
And it just brings it just brings about a sense of rigor, being able to hunker down, do your homework, get good grades, accomplish some things. That's some of the things that music and the study of music, specifically our college prep uh, programming, it just lends itself to that. Um, so like I said, most of our kids that if they choose to go to college, they are totally prepared to go.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, yeah, that's really great. Hopefully anybody listening can certainly appreciate that. What would you say is one of the most memorable experiences that you've had since first starting MEA?
Some I don't.
Like one of the most memorable experiences, like with a
Oh,
student or a accomplishment that the organization has had.
a couple of different things. I mean, on a personal level, being able to tour with my musical heroes has been a wonderful thing. I toured with Al Jarreau and George Duke for quite a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the school, just being recognized through the different organizations. Specifically, I'm thinking about Cook County receiving the Musical Arts Institute Day, being recognized for that, for the things that we're doing in the community.
When is that day?
Oh, that was a couple of years ago.
Oh,
I'd have
okay.
to look on the resolution. On the
Oh, okay.
resolution.
Okay. It's not an annual occurrence. It was just the
No,
one
it's
time.
not quite.
Federal holiday.
um, and honestly, I mean, I celebrate small victories.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that we have our heritage concert coming up
Mm-hmm.
this Sunday
Yeah.
at Crown Presbyterian Church, 8100 South Calumet. And that is a time where we kind of just celebrate A, our heritage, B, MAI and this contribution to the community, where a number of our alums are coming back to perform for the organization,
Oh, nice.
and just kind of have a reunion as such, and just to kind of celebrate where these young people have taken their own lives. Uh, I've always said that it takes a village to create a successful young person.
Mm-hmm.
We are just grateful to be part of the village that creates these victories and these victorious students.
Well, I think you're definitely doing great work, and I know you feel it. It's it's great to do what you love. At the end of the day, feel a sense of accomplishment, even though I'm sure there's struggles along the way. But so I'm sure things were different when you first opened your doors to today. How would you say like the level of acceptance and support from the communities
Oh, yeah.
differed?
Yeah, it's grown tremendously.
Yeah.
I was just telling my staff in our staff meeting this morning. We spend a lot of money on marketing, but our biggest asset is word of mouth
Mm-hmm.
and how people are accepting us in the community, and that to me is the biggest deal.
Yeah.
To have people who are happy with the services that you're providing for the children. That see the kids happy and growing in music. That is the biggest deal. We're getting funding support from a number of foundations who also see our community commitment and support as well, and know that we're making an impact. Our biggest challenge, though, is creating a narrative. I was telling you that when we taught it in Northbrook and in Evanston, the culture and the environment was just conducive for arts education and arts learning and arts expression, for that matter. It's quite different on the south side of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and creating uh, uh, that acceptance and that valuation is probably one of the biggest challenges that we still face. Um, Parents just don't know what's available to them. Parents
Mm-hmm.
don't know about the benefits of art study. And and I get it, because most families are just trying to go about their work, trying to make it, trying to live day by day.
Yeah.
A lot of the a lot of the families don't have disposable income or disposable time
Yeah.
in which to invest in children, but they have to see. Our job is to make them see the success stories that come out of MAI, and get them to visualize their children being that successful with a minimum amount of time, and finances not being a barrier.
So the challenge is I guess people, I mean, it's an investment, right?
Yeah.
And whether, because the classes are subsidized, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
classes are subsidized.
Okay. But even being subsidized, it may be a financial strain on a household as much as
Yeah,
they, but
and a time constraint. I mean, you have to actually carve out time to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's whether you're investing money or time, that's, the things that we seem to be lacking so much of, even though we have all these resources and technology
Yes.
to speed everything up.
Mhm.
It seems like we have less and less every day. Oh man. So are there any particular projects or goals that you're looking to raise money for, or is this just continual
Well,
continuing just
as a
for
not-for-profit,
coursework?
as a not-for-profit, we're always looking to raise money for scholarships, some for general operations, and then scholarships for kids. It costs about $1,700, $1,750 for each child to study with Music Arts Institute for a full year.
Okay.
So we're always looking to raise money to cover the costs of kids being involved in our program. We do have a couple of events coming up. We have a golf fundraiser coming up September 27th at the Odyssey Golf Course in Tinley Park.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a good fundraiser for us. And then we have our gala coming up January 13th of 2024. And that will be in Rosemont. And we have a very, very special guest who I cannot
Okay.
advertise just yet.
Okay.
He is an R&B legend of the made famous by the group LTD. I'll
Okay.
just leave it at that.
Well, good reason to follow you on social media to stay tuned for that big announcement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I certainly hope that this one event on Saturday, June 3rd, isn't going to be the only time that we stay connected. I hope that you and Lana and anybody else from MEI can come out and join us for Saturday's event. But maybe we can talk about collaborating together and having some of the students ensembles perform at a future school street
Hey,
social. That'd
that
be
would be
wonderful.
great. These
Yeah.
kids are, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, but these kids are really,
Yeah.
really good.
No, I have,
Yeah.
and I mean, you've been on. Some of these students have been on TV as well, right? Like
Correct.
WGN, WTTW, and stuff. So,
Mhm.
plenty of information and videos out there on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, and you're going to be getting to another meeting here in just a minute. So I can't thank you enough for carving out some time
Yes.
to talk with me. And again, hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. You can
Yes,
make
I'm
it
looking
out.
forward to it. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Anything that you'd like to leave us before we wrap up?
No,
Our
just
little-
I just want everybody in your audience to be aware that there's some great things happening on the South Side, aside from all the negative media attention South Side gets. There's some things that are going on, and with your help, it'll grow so that there'll be less negative behaviors
Yeah,
that are being exhibited on the South Side of Chicago. So
yeah. It takes a
we are with
village,
you. Yeah, it takes a village. You are correct.
and it's not just the neighborhood. It's
No,
I mean, we're a city of neighborhoods, and
absolutely.
everybody's impacted and connected somehow. So
You're right. You're right.
we're
You're right.
helping each other out here.
It is. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Mike. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a good one. And we'll talk to
Yes,
you soon.
all right.
All right. Take care.